Six figures isn't a milestone, it's a trap. And in this video, I'm going to show you why most coaches get stuck at seven figures and what to do about it. Let's get into it. What oftentimes happens with coaches is that once they get through that critical period of hitting their first six figures, maybe they get to $8,000 a month, $10,000 a month, $15,000 a month, they think that they've made it. This is a big milestone. They think that they're on track to getting to multiple six figures, maybe even seven figures. Unfortunately, that only happens a minority of the time. The statistics are that it's only about 3% of coaches that actually hit seven figures. Not a huge number. So what's going on here? Well, there are three main reasons why the majority of coaches do not hit seven figures. Let's get into each of them. And once you know what these are, just don't do these things and you're going to be in very, very good situation. So, the number one thing that prevents coaches from hitting seven figures is what you might have guessed. It is lack of focus. The opposite of this is chasing shiny objects. This is by far the number one thing that prevents coaches from hitting multi-six and seven figures. My all-time favorite business quote from my good friend Richard Cousins. He says, making money is boring. Making a lot of money is really boring. And what happens is that the way we get to multiple six, $500,000 per year, and seven figures and beyond, it's by staying focused, typically on one main offer, one main audience, continuing to optimize that, doing one thing, putting one foot in front of the other, staying focused, not getting distracted, not getting tied up in the latest, greatest thing, focusing on sales and marketing primarily. When you do that, you have a chance, not saying it's guaranteed, you have your best chance of getting to seven figures. Lack of focus is the thing that prevents people from doing that. The other thing related to this is many people who do not get to seven figures, they do things in the wrong order. It is critical that you do things in the right order if you want to become a seven-figure coach. The thing that happens here is that many coaches, once they get some revenue coming in, they start to do things like build a big team, and they decide that they don't want to do sales and marketing anymore. So they hire a marketing agency, or they hire a team of setters, or they hire a team of salesperson people. And it very, very, very seldom works out. I want to say it essentially never works out at those earlier stages. So the key is we want to do things in the right order. If you're working by yourself, your first hire is most likely going to be some administrative help, a virtual assistant. Then later on, maybe your second hire might be a project manager that can help you execute a little bit faster. You might bring in some marketing help with copywriting and things like that. Sales is going to be the last thing you're going to want to delegate, or among the last things you're going to want to delegate, because really nobody's going to sell your services better than you are. So again, we want to make sure we do things in the right order. A great rule of thumb is that you need one full-time employee for every $400,000 in revenue. And that could be that could be 2 part-time employees, for example. But the idea here is that if you're doing $400,000 a year in revenue, you need 1 employee. If you're doing $800,000 a year in revenue, you need maybe 2 employees. So let's not go building a big team until we're ready. And of course, with the robots, we can even be more streamlined than we have been in the past. Final thing, and this one is really important. It's what I call the ambition principle. Here's the thing. Getting to 7 figures in many ways is a very irrational thing to do. The truth is that if you're reasonable with your expenses and you're able to control your profit margins and you're doing like $500,000 a year in revenue or $300,000 a year in revenue, then you actually can have a really, really awesome lifestyle. And you could be pretty good. And the truth is that it is kind of an irrational thing to hit multiple 7 figures. Not everybody has that ambition, because in order to get to multiple 7 figures, you really have to stretch outside your comfort zone. You got to be taking bigger risks. You got to be doing true entrepreneur risk. You might be at some point investing more money on ads, really going for it when it comes to a live event or rounding up a bunch of affiliates to promote your launch. It might just be really getting outside of your comfort zone to be more visible than you ever have been before. And the truth of the matter is that not everybody has the ambition and the wherewithal to do that. It really is a mindset aspect. And this might help you and inspire you if you've been at it for a long time and haven't really broken through to that, $500,000, $1 million, multiple 7 figures. If you haven't got there yet, I would just check in. Is this something that you really want to do? I'm being totally honest here. Is this something that you really want to do? Maybe being where you're at, maybe doing $300,000 a year is actually the ideal business for you. Now, of course, I want you to be ambitious. And if you truly want to make millions of dollars in your coaching business, I totally support that. But just keep in mind that it truly is not for everybody. So hopefully that was helpful. That's what I got for you today. This is why most coaches stay stuck at 6 figures, and hopefully gave you some ideas on what to do about it. This is Ron Reich. I'll talk to you next time.